everybody, it's Modesta Here from Modesta Africa. Listen, on Friday I was talking to you about coaching, right? I said that you can self-coach, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, what, you can do that? Yes, you can. And I shared the G.R.O.W model with you, and I want to talk a little bit more about it today, because I know Sundays are days for people to reflect. They're usually downtime. I, for one, have this next to me all the time. So this is my journal, and I would have a pen and a highlighter. What do I have in here right now? I actually have both, a pen and a highlighter. And whenever thoughts come through, or if I'm inspired, or I hear a word from the Lord, or an idea comes in about business or about supporting you guys, or about an idea of what I can share with you, I note this down. So I have it next to me almost everywhere I go. I walk around with it. The black one is for you guys, is when I'm coaching, but this one, this is my personal one. And this is where I get to pen down thoughts that come in, inspiration, a challenge that I can solve, or a conversation with somebody that I had, it's something they're going through, and suddenly maybe God will drop it, the solution to it. You know, I note these things down. So this is Modesta's personal journal, and you may have something similar, or if not, maybe you just tend to have these downtime sometime that you reflect, right? And I want you to do this. I want you to know that 2020 is not over, right? You still have 6 months, regardless of what's happened thus far. And I know when COVID hit, honestly, it so upset everything, right? In economies, it's upset so much in society. It's killed so many people. It's put fear and hopelessness in a lot of people. And I see all the jokes about, wait, reboot this thing, delete this and reinstall this. This program has a virus, 2020 has a virus. Other people talking about how this was not in my vision board. So a lot of people feel as if the year's gone down the drain. I mean, I already see posters of people saying, we can't wait for 2021. And I want to say this to you: 2020 is not over. There's 6 months we're about to go into, an entire half of the year that you can still own, you can still get to at the front end of, you can still determine how far you want to go. And I know that sounds like, yeah, Modesta, that's the thing you say, right? You're motivational. No, I mean it. The thing about hearing all the challenges, and we all feel like we're in this thing, this blanket, all of us. Everywhere you look, it's bad news. Everywhere you look, people have lost jobs, businesses are closing, literally we're afraid of even being close to each other, lest we contract a virus that has initially no way of being seen. So people are tense, and people have given up hope. Honestly, at this point, I think a lot of people are just waiting for official announcements. Okay, lockdown is over. All right, economies are rebuilding. It's like we're all hermit crabs hidden away, waiting for somebody to officially say it's safe to come out now. And I think we've actually also suspended our dreams, suspended aspirations. Some people had New Year's resolutions, or even clear goals for the next 12 months, and those also were put on the shelf. Those also went dormant, because you're thinking, well, nothing is within my control. So until it is, I'll just go with the flow, which is basically hang out here, wash my hands a whole lot, and keep distance, and try to stay sane as I'm handling me, my family, and everybody, being in the same space, and no longer being able to operate business, or able to continue with my work if you still have work, right? So there's a sense of the rug has been pulled from underneath me. And since the world as I know it is not there, what I could control, because face it, we're adults, right? And what do we know about adulting is you're responsible. Is that you get on the front end of things, is that you drive your own, your own future, your own progress. And it looks like everything that we could do, that save for prayer, which is the most important thing, has been taken away from us. So many people are just sitting at home praying. And some people are probably not even praying anymore. They're like, look, God, good job, 2020. So much for your vision. And you've suspended dreaming. You've suspended being positive. You've suspended aspiring for anything, because you're thinking it's gone. And until somebody else external from me, the more official, the most certified, accredited, somebody else needs to come tell me when it's time, when I have permission, because it seems like now I'm not even allowed to move, right? Imagine, as an adult, as a parent, everything that you were in charge of was taken away from you a couple of months ago. And the more reports we're reading, we're told this is gonna go till 2021 and whatever. So we all, if you're not careful, you could just sit and say, all right, I'll sit here, we'll survive. No dreaming, no aspiration, no no setting goals, not trying anything, because it's not going to work. Everything around you is telling you it's not going to happen. Death, 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 fear, fear, fear. It's all that we're hearing. And I want to come to you and say 2020 is not over. These 6 months, you can still make the most of them. You can grow your way through the remaining 6 months. You can get those goals, those resolutions that you set at the beginning of the year, dust them off, look at them again. And I want to help you with something. And this sounds very interesting. You may not have heard it, but I think you can self-coach your way through the remaining 6 months. And I'd like to show you how. On Friday, I did a video about coaching, and winning is a very specific process, and that's why you need a coach. And today I want to talk to you about how you can self-coach your way through the next 6 months. Because here's the thing. If you allow yourself to get bogged down on everything that is not happening and that I don't have control of, you are going to rob yourself of what you can influence and what you can do. Subconsciously, you may have stopped dreaming, stopped aspiring. Some people may have even stopped trying to survive. It's just like, another day, I'm still breathing. Hallelujah. Fine. Let's just see, how long it's going to take to get through this before I contract or whatever it is. So we've been stuck on negativity, and I want you to work this way. I would like you to ask yourself, what were some of the things that you were aspiring towards 2020? And 2020 means perfect vision. Somebody asked me, what is 2020? Because, we've been doing a lot of wordplay with the year. 2020, when you go to the optometrist and they check your eyes, when your eyes are 2020, it means you have perfect vision. And that's what this year, to a lot of people, is like, this is the year of vision. This is the year when I get to fulfill my vision. This is the year when it was supposed to be in a lot of people's eyes, whether it was spiritually or whether it was just like motivationally from a personal goal setting point of view. It's supposed to be the year of getting things done, the year of getting to the next level, the year of achieving what you hadn't achieved till now. And with COVID hitting, just like the devil to do a thing like that, just when the whole world is pumped up, with COVID hitting, we completely dropped aspiring for anything. I want you to go back and ask yourself, so what did I want to achieve? And you can think of the area where you feel that you were stuck. So whether that is, your personal development, your finances, your professional, progress, or impact that you'd like to have. There's some people who say, Modesta, I'm actually doing really well with whatever it is I'm doing, but I know I could be more than this. My career is going well. I'm doing brilliant. Like, I've just gone glory to glory, right? I've just climbed up the ranks, but it's time that I thought of more than just me and mine. So it could be your impact goals. And I want you to do this. When you can, remember, go back. If you'd written it down and you hadn't put out, what are these called? Like you hadn't tagged the page, go back and flip through your notes or go through your phone and go back to when you were dreaming, December 2019, dreaming of what 2020 was going to be like. Go back to that, and I hope you haven't erased it. And then look at what it is, was it your personal development? Was it your finances? And especially finances, that's probably an area that a lot of people are feeling the pinch of it more now. Was it your professional development? Maybe you wanted to be promoted by the end of the year and you had lined up some of the things that you need to do to get there, but now you're not at work and you're wondering, well, does anybody even have an appetite to hear the fact that I actually want to get a promotion by the end of the year? It seems like a very trifle, a very selfish, superficial thing to aspire towards right now when the organization is barely surviving. Was it impact? Is this a time to think of impact? Oh, it's so overwhelming. I'm barely surviving. Who am I to start thinking about how I'm even going to impact the world? Whatever it was, look at the area in which you wanted to change this year and then ask yourself, I still have 6 months. I know what it looks like out there, and I know what we're facing right now, but I still have 6 months. And I can choose to set a goal for the next 6 months. So ask yourself, what is that goal that I would like to reach by December 31st? And note it down. It could be a personal development goal, like, oh, look, for me to actually get to that position that I want to, maybe in promotion, or for me to be able to grow my business, to be able to get it, to tap into this market or this segment of the market. This is what I would need to do in the next 6 months. And then after you've set your goal in that area where you wanted to aspire towards at the beginning of the year, I would like you to then ask yourself, well, what is the reality? Listen, when you set your goal, or when you're thinking of the area that you want to improve, it's not necessarily that you are stuck. It could be an aspirational goal that I am where, I'm at a place where I'm comfortable. I've done well, but I would like to do greater. I would like to get to something higher. And then, you work towards that. When you look at your reality could be, it could just be, I am at a place, this is where I am. I get to do what I love. I am paid well. I'm compensated well. I'm comfortable. But I realize there's more to me. I realize there can be more. I realize I can serve more. I realize that I can take on greater challenges or greater responsibility. Or it could be that I am in a place that I do not like at all, and I want to change that, whether it's finances, whether, personal development, whether it's family and relationships, professionally, or in terms of impact. I have greater aspirations than where I'm at right now. So look at your current reality. And the reason why it's so important for you to look at your current reality is that you must see yourself right and hear yourself say how you are interpreting your current reality. Because circumstances, facts are facts, but we interpret circumstances to be what they are. So a really positive person next to a really negative person will look at the same set of circumstances and speak back completely different things. It's really important for you to go through the R part of grow, right? The G being goals, the R being reality, so that you can hear how you are framing your current reality. What are you seeing, both as the opportunities, but also the obstacles in your way to get into where you want to go. And then after you've gone through your reality, ask yourself, so what are my options? And that's the O in grow, right? What are my options then? How can I move from where I am right now in my current reality to where I'd like to be in the goals that I've set for myself? And I'd ask you at this point to just note down everything that comes to mind. Don't talk yourself out of things like, yeah, right, in this time of COVID, in this time of like social distancing, in this time of cut pay, in this time of, I want you to don't have too much of a conversation with yourself. Just note down everything, write it down, bullet points, all the things that you see as options of getting there. Are you going to go back to school to do that? Are you going to request that the organization pay for you to go towards that, for you to get your promotion? Are you going to engage a mentor, a coach? Are you going to communicate to your supervisor your interest in taking on that new role? Are you going to build your business capacity for you to be able to get to the level where you can tap into the new market that you've seen, or the new segment that you'd like to pivot towards? And what would be the options? Do you need to increase the number of people you have? Is it a capital injection that is key for you? So how are you going to solicit those resources? Think of all the options for you to get from your current reality towards the goal that you set for yourself in the next 6 months. So if you say December 31st is when I need to have reached what I need to reach, ask yourself, so how do I get there? That will be the options. And then narrow down to the option that seems most feasible to you. Now, I want to say this. Part of what I love about what I do is I never ask people to, I recommend that you dream big. I mean, there's no point of dreaming other than dreaming big. You're not paying to dream. Dreaming is free. Dream as big as you would like to, but then start strategically, right? I want you to plan. I want you to aspire within the the reality of your current life. So if you say, this is how my time is spent, I've got a family, I'm engaged at work, I do some community work, I want you to consider your finances. This is what I earn. Apart from my family and all our overheads, I have a business on the side, and then I have extended family members that I support, or I'm giving towards a certain cause. I'd like you, as you're thinking through your goals for the next 6 months, to consider, as you want to narrow down to the option that you will choose as your way forward towards your goal. I want you to do it within the context of your current lifestyle. So when we're in the master plan class and people are talking about their plans and their goals for their lives, I ask them to tell me about their personal budget. Because there are times you might set goals for yourself that require you to tap into your personal finances. But if you can barely get by every month, you're going to suspend your goals because they just don't seem, feasible given your current situation. And so when you look at your personal budget, for instance, you're able to say, okay, these are my expenses. This is what goes towards them. What is left? What are you going to do with it? And of course, I want you to include your savings and your investment in your expenses. And your giving and all of that within your expenses. And you're going to look at what's left over. So do you use what's left over, if anything is left over, towards your goals? Or do you start looking at how you can monetize your skills? You start looking at other investments, other avenues of getting funding. When you look at the reality of your life as you are planning for the future, you're setting yourself up for success. Because if you remove your current reality and you just dream and set goals that are not aligned or that don't even consider or reflect your current life, you're not going to go towards them. At some point of implementation, very soon after you start, you will realize it's not practical. Why? Because taking stock of my life, the time that I have, the energy, the finances, the systems that I'm working with, it's not going to work, especially in the COVID-19 time that we're in, right? Especially with coronavirus and what it's doing, and how it's really immobilized the world, it's immobilized people. So I want you, when you're exploring what options would help me get towards my goal by December 31st, if that's your date, that you consider the reality of your current life. And then when you narrow down to that option, we get to the W, and W is really your willingness to move forward. Is it a 1 or a 10 on that spectrum? No, not is it a 1 or a 10, between 1 and 10 on that spectrum, what is your willingness to actually apply this option towards getting to your goals by the end of the year? If you find that you're not really that motivated, right? You've done all the brainstorming, you've done all the planning, and I do this a lot with the people that I'm working with. It's one thing to know where you are and where you want to go, and to even write a nice, crisp plan that looks like it'll get you there. If you're not willing to do it, you're not going to do it. This is a conversation I've had with people, I think, for 15 years now. And in that context, we're talking about training. Why do organizations have refresher courses? Why do you find that people who've been hired right, people who have the qualification, people who are trained to do a thing, why would you still see a high incidence of people not delivering? And you come back and you look at personal desire, personal motivation. Even if a person knows exactly what needs to be done, sometimes you would find that people vary in motivation. And I don't even mean that they vary in how motivated they are. They even vary in what motivates them. So it's one thing for you to set your goals for the next 6 months, saying, look, I still have 6 months of 2020. It's quite another to assess your reality and say, all right, so given my current lifestyle, my current reality, these are the options that I have. It's quite another to narrow down on the option that you will use to get towards your personal development or finance or financial or professional or impact goals. It's quite another to have the motivation to know from the onset. And we often know from the onset whether we'll stick with the thing or not. Dieting, exercising comes to mind. You know from the very beginning whether you're really in this or not. And it is key so that you don't set yourself up for failure, so that you don't feel like, a person like me could never do this. check from a scale of 1 to 10 your willingness to actually apply this option towards getting your goals. And if you feel from the very beginning like, look, let me not lie to anybody, I'm not in this. Like, I barely hit a 5 on my willingness to pursue this thing. There is no way this is actually going to be done by December 31st. Then don't do it. Look at another option. But either way, from setting your goals, you can engage a coach in that. Looking at the reality of your life and seeing how you're framing that. Because how you frame your reality will then influence what you see as the options you have to get towards your goals. And after you've narrowed down on the options, you can also then look at, so what is my willingness? I have a goal. I've looked at my reality. I've narrowed down a couple of options. I've decided this is the option for me to get towards my goals. What is my willingness to pursue it? All through those stages, you can engage a coach to help you through. But even before you do, I'm telling you, you can self-coach. You can ask yourself, I still have 6 months to go. What do I want to achieve? And you can just pick one area. It could be personal development. There's a certain level you want to get. It could be your finances. Like, maybe you've been so hit by what's happened with COVID-19, you say, never again will I get in this situation financially where I'm depending on just the one stream of income, or where I have my livelihood in the hands of an organization or in the hands of other people. I need to build around me a better system, a better model of of financial independence that I have. And so maybe it's financial goals that you have for the next 6 months, or it could be a professional development. And I know some people like, I can barely think about my professional development. I don't even know what the future of my work will be or the future of my business will be. Listen, there are organizations that are still hiring. There are organizations that are still promoting. Look at LinkedIn. Like, every day I get it, because I have quite a few connections on LinkedIn. You see, congratulate so-and-so for their appointment. So-and-so just got, put into this position, that position. People are still hiring. People are still promoting. Businesses are still engaging with each other, because I also see a lot of business news out there. And I'm not just talking about large, multinationals. I'm talking about nonprofits and small and medium-sized businesses everywhere are still operating. Organizations, B2B, are still requiring services from other organizations. Individuals are still getting services from businesses. So do not shut this year out just yet. Narrow down on the area that you want to work on and check on your on the options that you see given your current reality and your willingness to pursue that. And you will be surprised when you get out of, oh my goodness, COVID-19, coronavirus, look at what it's done to economies. And I don't know when we're going to be released from this lockdown. I don't know when economies will be, will start reviving. And so I'm just going to suspend my dreams. I'm going to suspend my aspirations. I'm going to suspend my plans. Until then, I want you to look at your life and what you're able to do. And I know so far you felt as if, well, there's nothing I can do. Me being an adult, a mother or a father, me being, responsible for other people as an employer, all of a sudden I feel as if my hands are tied. And I don't even have an answer for anybody that depends on me. And I know that hit a lot of people. I don't have an answer for the people that I've always been answerable to, the people that I've always been able to support, that I've always been able to protect, that I've always been able to provide for. And so many of us have taken a hit, like, all right, so when the government feels like letting us know we can come out now, or when WHO says, or whatever, World Bank, whoever, I want you to understand you still can influence what the remaining year is going to be like. And this is how you can start. You can self-coach yourself through the G.R.O.W model. Set goals, look at current reality, narrow down on options, and check your willingness. And then narrow down to that which you do feel is within your confines. And I'll tell you, you can do a whole lot more than you feel, than you see. And often the answer to how much you can do is in the doing. When you start doing is when you will see how much more you can do, or how resilient you really are, or how innovative, etc. And it's then that other people come along. People don't usually come along in the beginning of a thing, or you could walk it for a while. People will come along after they see just how determined you are and how much progress you are making. And it's not personal. But when you're sitting there ruminating, when you're just talking about a thing and nothing is moving, you'd be surprised. Truly nothing will move. And truly December 31st, 2020 will come and nothing would have happened. But you can change that. And the way you're going to do that is starting right now. Choosing to see that 2020 is not over. I've got another 6 months. I can roll with the punches. You know, I can be malleable. I can be flexible. That's what resilience is about. You know, I can look at what I currently have, tweak it a little bit. I can evolve. I can rebrand. I can reposition. I can do something out of this thing. I'm still the same person with the same aspirations. So we took a hit. I took a hit. But I'm getting back in the ring. And I'm still going to live this life on my terms. Of course, guided by God. Guys, you'll hear me say that, right? We're not self-made. We've got a God over us, and He wants us to it. But until we make a move, until we set goals, until we choose to look at our current reality and come up with options and start applying them, really, you know, being committed to applying them, we're not going to see any change. And then we will truly write off 2020. And people were like, people in March were saying they're looking forward to 2021. No. We're at the end of May. We have another 6 months. This can still be your year. I have every plan. Oh God, believe it. I have every plan of making 2020 the best year yet for me. And by God's grace, I will. And I pray the same for you. So guys, last week was all about who's in your corner, right? Because you know that you cannot do this alone. Not your career, not your business, not in any other area. Go to Purpose Lessons Academy on YouTube and look at those videos. They're all under Leverage Your Support System playlist. All of the videos that I have right now, I have 120 videos now, they're under playlists. So you can even watch that playlist from beginning to end to really get in-depth learning in an area. And if you would like to have a discovery call with me, look, Modesta, whether it's career-wise or it's my business, I need to get unstuck. I need to move, or maybe I need to have clarity in my goal setting, or to actually look at, you know, how I can get the resources, the partnerships that I need. Can you brainstorm with me? This is why I am in industry, and we took a hit in this way, and I want to come back. Can you show me a way that I can pivot? Can we talk that through? Book a discovery call with me. I'll put a link on this video for you to get to a discovery call, but you could also go to Modesta.Africa, Modesta.Africa, and you can get to book time with me as well. I want the best for you. I don't believe this year is done. It is not. 6 more months for you to go after your dreams. 6 more months for you to move the needle towards your goals. Make the most of this time. I would honestly tell you, be careful with all the news you're watching. It truly gets you down. I want you to focus on what it is that you can do. There is so much else that feels like we cannot do. So much else we feel like is not within our control. Honestly, for those things, I pray and I prophesy what I want to see over my country, what I want to see over, you know, my continent, what I want to see over the world that, you know, that we're in. For those things, and I'm like, Lord, I pray, I trust, I prophesy, I project forward what I want to see. But these things, which had COVID-19 not hit, would still be within my power. These things, I cannot let go of my hands and say, oh, I don't know because of the rest of the world. I will be held accountable for that. For these things, I am still waging war with them. I am still going to set goals. I am still going to look at my current reality and find options of finding a way out. And I will definitely find something that I can put my hand to. And it is in the putting your hands to something that things will open up. Not in the brainstorming, not in the figuring out, not in the wondering, and especially not in the worrying. So let's do this. We've got career, business, impact to make. We've got, you know, promotion and personal branding to position ourselves in industry. There's so much more we can still do in innovative ways, maybe uncomfortable ways. You know, we're used to doing things a certain way, but by all means, it's still within our power. It's still within your power, and you still have 6 months to 2020. So let's go get it. Much love from me, guys. Modesta Maikambuguni from Modesta.Africa. Do go out and self-coach your way through the next 6 months of 2020. You got this. Much love. Bye.